Welcome back, everybody, to Sanity Lost, Chapter 8. There's other words that my brain forgot, but welcome.
That was fast. I was gonna.
Yeah. We can always go back to the try and true joke of our actual play, dark fantasy, time warping phenomenon.
Oh man, this is gonna be a session tonight. Dave's brain is somewhere else.
Yeah, it's the joys of like working on. So, like I mentioned before, Charity Palooza, that's been chosen, and so now my brain is like, okay, what can I do with that? And so I'm really excited to do Blades in the Dark because I have run it for the channel before, but I think what I was thinking of that is pretty much all three groups are going to be part of the same crew, and it's going to be one giant heist.
Yeah.
And so depending on the actions of the first heist will cascade into the later missions.
Yeah, I like that. That's always very fun.
So like, man, if the first group screws it over, it's just like, oh man,
it's downhill from there.
Everybody else is gonna not have. Well, they'll have fun, but
sounds like I need to be in the first group and cause mayhem.
I was gonna say, well, the first group is a hard one because, like, one, you don't have to deal with the consequences of other people, but two, you can like royally ruin the entire rest of the day. That feels like too much pressure to me.
That's why middle's good.
I don't know.
Actually, probably the end. The thing is, it's like it's gonna be fun. I don't know.
It's like it doesn't matter. It's just gonna be fun.
The first seems to have the most potential for chaos, for lasting chaos.
For lasting, yes, but I don't know. No, none of you guys were in the Blades in the Dark game, but I don't know if you've peeked at it, but it literally doesn't matter. Like, that game is set to, like, everybody can go off the rails very easily. So yeah, I'm glad for that. By the way, if people are listening to this and it's like, what's Charity Palooza? It's my yearly charity event that's run in July. So it's July 20th of this year.
Approximately 2 months from the time of this recording.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think when this episode comes out.
Yeah, I didn't have that information close enough to figure out a rough time.
Let's see. 7.6 came out. Chapter 7.6. 7's, I think the chapter part 8 is the last part.
Sounds right.
Yes. So when this comes out, I don't know why I was trying so hard. I don't know why I was trying so hard for it to figure out when it came out, because I can see when 7.7 was scheduled, which is next week. So the 3rd is the final. So they will hear this on the 10th of June.
We're good at math. We can do that.
I opened up the wrong website. There we go. I opened up my music. Royalty-free musical, John. But anyway, for everybody, hey, it's been a week that we did not see each other. Well, I guess Nite and I saw each other. And then it was like the big question. Well, I guess if anyone's reading the screen on the YouTubes, they know who John's playing. But it's always a question. Hey, John, who you playing this chapter? If we do a season 2 and John and Elizabeth reprise their spots, a goal would be to let John play a character longer than one chapter.
There's been a couple that have lasted.
I'm the variety component.
Skip did last a good chunk.
Yeah, he went a good.
Percy lasted 2 chapters, right?
Well, yeah, the prologue in chapter 1.
Yeah.
Right.
And he had like a guest appearance in.
Got a cameo.
One of. Yeah, he
had
had
a
a
couple
cameo.
cameos.
I mean, Skip went 2 chapters, although the second chapter was quick, so...
No, he was in more. No, because he was... Chapter 2 was... Look at my notes. These can be spoiled. Let's see. He was introduced in chapter 2. And he was in chapter 3 when we first meet Matthias Chilburn. Chapter 4 is when everyone died. When Mark Poe, Mom Winters, because she never had a name, Maura Hudson, Carl Giuseppe, no one was sad about that one, and Father Richard Bailey all passed away. And I think that's... Yeah, okay, that was the 60s. So that would have been... So he was there for 3 chapters. 2, 3, and 4.
That's not bad.
And chapter 5 is when we met the new cast. And so August was in 5 and 6. And he wasn't in 7. It just... I think it's because these chapters are so short. Mm-hmm. My next thing is, like, I'm... As fun as it is, like, to see this anthology series, like, in a go, I'm like, I don't want to... There's too much time math. And
there is a lot of time math.
There's a lot of time math, and I think some of the mechanics... Like, there are some Call of Cthulhu, like, time has to pass for, like, healing and stuff, but I don't think
it's really intended for decades-long spread. But we're just telling a different kind of story with it.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Like, I don't mind the story we're telling, but it's just that I do think some of the stuff we're missing out. Because I think Cora, she got a major wound, and then it was, 12 years later, and it's just yeah.
Yeah.
She would have acclimated to that. So, and then, Sanity stuff, a lot of the... the weight of that. But I think it's good because I think now if we start something that's okay, it's starting at blah 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 time and we're gonna move forward from there, I think we have a good grounding on the rules. I noticed compared to when we first started, we were something yes, and now when we're just I roll this, and if we have a question, we're all able to look it up pretty quickly and not get stuck, which is a plus. It's learning the system.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so
it's
guys,
only
season
taken
2
us
is
2 years.
Yeah. Season 2 is going to be 3.5 D&D. Because Elizabeth won't play Pathfinder, so we'll do D&D. She likes that. We'll do 3.5.
3.5 is rough, dude.
It's pretty much Pathfinder 1.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not better. That's not better.
Okay, we'll just do Pathfinder 1 then. No.
We'll do this type of a campaign, but using Traveler.
Traveler, I think Elizabeth would like Traveler as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know it, but everything that I've heard about it, certainly piques my interest.
From playing multiple different games with Elizabeth, and you've said...
No. I feel worried about what's going to come out of your mouth next.
You said, even on this podcast, you're not a fan of the crunchy systems.
Yeah.
However, I think you don't mind the crunchiness when it's a skill-based thing. Like Call of Cthulhu,
right.
Where it's all the things are and Traveler's like that.
Yeah.
Where it's, and so...
I like being able to have the flexibility. So, when I say crunchy, I mean, Pathfinder to me, you play Pathfinder because you enjoy the actual system. No. You enjoy the system, and you enjoy getting into all of the, skills and the rolls and the numbers and the, stacking and all of this stuff, whereas I like games or systems where obviously there are rules and rolls and numbers, but it aids you in telling a story. I'm definitely more about the storytelling rather than the actual system.
Mm-hmm. How about you, John? What's your favorite thing? I know you said or preferred. I don't like the word favorite when it comes to TTRPGs because I think everybody can find something fun in any version of a TTRPG.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think I like the idea of like really crunchy number-based stuff. I don't think I've ever really gotten into it. I feel like it's one of those things that it's like everybody has to really know it to do it, and so like if some people don't know it, like it's easy to gloss over certain things, and so there's like I'll even like kind of like stupid stuff like having to like carry food or like, you know, keep track of like ammo and that like that kind of thing like interests me, but is usually one that's easy to gloss over because it's a pain to do and most people don't want to do it. So like I think the realism aspect is what I like, what interests me, like really trying to mimic realism with whatever system you're using.
Yeah, I know. The campaign I wrote for the charity game that I'm going to use that campaign for something. It's just not what it originally was for. My original intent was it to be like very much what you were saying is like tracking of food, keeping like ammo count, like because you are hunters in a society, and it's like that kind of game interests me.
Right.
And I would like to run that style game. It's just, and I think it would work well. So like I think that is, if I was going to run 5e again, that's what I would lean into more. Right. Of like, hey, we're going to keep the mechanics of 5e, but like we're going to add this, like we're going to
like the nitty gritty of like stat tracking type stuff.
And like exhaustion and stuff. So it's like the thing is like I'm the type of player which will make sense with this one sentence of I really enjoy Souls games. Yeah. And so I like 5e, Pathfinder. Me as a player, I want the deck stacked against me and like all the way. Like I don't want the easy way out. I want my character to die. Which, by the way, my character finally died. That's where I find fun in, is like the filth of the world just punching you. And it's like, this sucks. On you. It also doesn't help that when I roll stats for any character, half of them are negatives. But it's like to where people are like, you can reroll. It's like, no, this is what the world gave me. And it's like, why are you doing this to yourself? Like, don't kill my fun. I'm gonna hate this character in 2 weeks anyway. Which is why I like playing games or running games. But no, I do like. There's a lot of games like behind me. Morkborg. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Norwegian or Swedish. Like, it means like Dark Tower, but that game is like based off of like old school like TTRPGs where it's just like you have 3 hit points and a goblin does 20 damage. So it's much more like, and people's like, oh my goodness, that sounds terrible. It's like, well, no, the game isn't made to take enemies head on. It's more of a puzzle game at that point,
right? And
not one that's just like, riddle me this. A cat took a piss. I don't know. I
find that interesting, though. Honestly, like that is more strategic, right? Like I think that's not something that is off. Well, I would say the games that are popular, there's not as much strategy. There's a lot more like run into it and like hit things.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, so that's interesting. I would be terrible at it. If anyone's ever watched me play a stealth game, I fail miserably. So I would probably not be the person you'd want on your team. But like that is an interesting that's an interesting concept.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Nite?
I don't know. Pretty much all of the tabletop RPGs I've played have been in Payne storytelling, so I don't know that I've ever had it.
Got it.
I don't know that I've ever got a complete sense of the various systems, but
Right.
And they, I mean, it just depends on the type of world that you want and the type of story you want to tell. Ultimately, I think is where it comes down to.
Yeah.
But
D-Payne stories. Whatever mood he's in, it depends on how much rules he's going to pay attention to.
what I really think though is we should tell the next story in either Gloomhaven or Frosthaven. Just the whole story in that system.
That system. I do have an idea for like a season 2 of Call of Cthulhu, but it's just I don't know. We can always talk about is like if we want to switch up systems or even do like a mini series just to like on like a completely different system or maybe something adjacent of like.
No, I know what we really should use for the next system is Ticket to Ride.
You put that trash down now. Anyway, but yeah, that's a neat thing. Like, there's just so many games out there, and I've realized I came to the realization this year mainly because like I wasn't jumping into so many games where I'm just like, I think I know the 3 that I'm just gonna keep getting stuff for this, and then maybe pick up a small game every once in a while. In short, I'm gonna be buying a lot more Traveler books at PAX Unplugged. But anyway, yeah, I stalled long enough. I did have a certain song chosen, but then we were chatting and I realized, I think we need a different song here. Let's go with this one. Never mind, that one is what I thought it was, but not. That's a little bit. That wasn't the chill that I was hoping for. Oh wait, here we go. Let's see. Does this title fit? I don't know how well you guys can hear it.
It has that intro building.
Yeah. So, if anyone listened to the end of Chapter 7, we gave the normal teaser. It is 2005. However, we're going to roll the clocks back. We're going to roll the clocks back 5 years, where it's 2000, and not the super dark joke that I was making earlier that Elizabeth was uncomfortable with. We are at a building. It looks pretty plain from the outside. It's but normally to get there, it's like tucked away in the woods, so most people don't really come to this location. And if you look it up on a map, it doesn't even have a name. It's not abandoned, but it just looks like private property. And as we go inside, we just see a bunch of what looks like staff members, like a lot of doctors kind of taking care of different patients in different states of consciousness, and not like a medical hospital, but more like just a mental wow, brain just went kaput. But because I know what they're called in normal, the asylums, but I know they're not that. Like a mental hospital. Just different people there, but like we turn, like our camera goes down the hallway as we go, and on the door it says head nurse Connell, and we go inside and we just see this gentleman there, and we see the back of this person's head, and as this doctor's like, well, Mr. Lockhart, it seems like your time here is done. We're gonna miss you. You've been here for a while, but it seems like you're ready.
August kind of takes a hesitant sigh and is like, do you think so? I mean, I know I've done a lot of work, but It's been so long since I've been on the outside. I don't know what the world's like anymore.
It's changed. Like, we won't lie to you, but that's what the past year has been. That's why we've been showing you, trying to get you more acclimated to the world. It's why we've been showing you the news, different TV shows, all approved and everything. Like, and you've been, like, the medicine and stuff, you've been taking that pretty well, and it seems like we've also been weaning you off of that, so you don't need to take it unless you absolutely feel like you have to. But no, that's out of most recoveries, you've done very well, and I think your sister is coming to pick you up. She should be here within the next couple minutes, or within the hour. So, but yeah, no, but well, I'll miss you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll miss everybody here too. You guys got me through a lot, and I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for the staff here and you and just everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, as you probably figured out, because you are definitely smart, this is an SSD facility, but you will not be sent on any missions. Okay, you will, if anything, they might ask you, because we saw what you've been studying over the past, especially 5-10 years now, and so they might just ask, if anything, of your opinion on certain matters of what your study is, when they need help with it. But you don't have to worry. You are not going to be sent out on the field. You don't have to worry about being called up and sent on any missions like that. So, and it's rare for us to even call people in that have graduated from our program here back into even information jobs. So, but here, and like he writes, like pulls out a card and like writes his numbers, like, here, here's my email, here's my number, and if anything comes up, just call, either email or call, and yeah, we'll see what we can do and help you out.
August takes the card, kind of like, tips it to the doctor. Is like, all right, well, I guess that's everything then.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, if you want, we can get your stuff and wait in the waiting room for your sister to come.
All right, sounds good. He like kind of pops up and heads out the door.
And then as like the hour draws short, you're sitting there in the waiting room, maybe looking out the window or something, and I feel like they would have given you a cell phone, or maybe like a burner or track phone kind of thing to do that, and maybe Deli like text you like 10 minutes out or something like that, and you just feel a tap on your shoulder, and turning around, you see one of the doctors there who you've never been able to like place him. Like, he's just one of those people that seems to get lost in the crowd a little bit. Like, that you had sessions with him, but like when you would turn away, like when you left the sessions, like, you remembered everything that he taught, but his name and like facial features like never really stuck. And he was like a newer doctor, but he's like, Mr. Lockhart, I'll be sad to see you go.
Oh, yeah, Doctor. I'll be sorry to see you. See you go too. I know we didn't really get to maybe get to know each other quite as well as some of the other doctors, but of course I appreciate everything that you've done for me.
You have an excellent mind, Mr. Lockhart. Remember what we studied. The SSD doesn't always have the best ways, or really the only way, to look beyond the veil. But I don't want to hold you up, as his hand slowly points this long, spindly, wiry hand as his lab coat kind of pulls down. You see a little polka dotted suit underneath it, and as you turn to look out the window, Deli is pulling up, and as you turn back around, that doctor's gone.
August kind of does a sort of quick double take and just sort of looks around in confusion, but then just kind of shakes his head, shrugs his shoulders. He didn't really know the doctor that well anyway, and just kind of pushes it out of his mind and walks off.
And so we'll end on that scene, and let's see, as Elizabeth is shaking her head. And now it's years later. In 2005. It's June 25th, 2005. And funny enough, Elizabeth was also yelling at Nite because of the temperature that he used. But it is one of the hottest days in there. I'll let Nite do the math, but it was 92 degrees Fahrenheit right now.
Oh, that's essentially what he said earlier.
What,
Yeah.
31?
Yeah.
And so...
Which is how hot for all the normies.
92.
92 degrees.
We just
Or
said that.
31. We're just going in circles now.
So... before... I imagine, if this was, a camera shot, maybe, we're looking at the church. We see, the sign of, Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church. Let me do this. Let's bring you guys over so you guys can see the map. If anybody wants to look at the map, just look up Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. And that's literally the map. Let's see. I thought it was on here. Let me mark it for you. But while I'm getting that set up, we just see the sign up there, and we see the funeral the funeral mass happening. But I want to know what has... we saw a peek of what August is doing. Or what he has been doing. But, let's see. Either Elizabeth or Nite, what have your characters been doing in the 12 or 15 years that have been... the 15 years in between?
So,
I think...
I imagine David has been on a mission or two with the SSDs as well, but mostly running his private investigation business and probably thriving fairly well with that business, with all the weird stuff in that part of the world. Is plenty of things to investigate and things to find for people, and probably spending more time around the home area than he had been previously, with Dad getting up there in years, and probably definitely, I'm sure Caleb feeling the years and feeling time is close, then they were probably spending more time at home with the family.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think for Deli, she's just. I don't really see Deli changing all that much, honestly. You know, she lives in this world that is wrapped up in her bookstore and learning and exploring. And so she's probably been traveling some and collecting as many unique and rare book collections or artifacts. She's gone deeper into kind of the occult and also gone on some SSD missions. But just really, like, this is just kind of her world, is like learning about these things, surrounding herself with these things. And then, you know, so I kind of see her kind of like going out, taking these trips, traveling around, meeting people, learning things, and then coming back to her store in Philadelphia and like integrating it. She's also been over the years, you know, checking in on her brother, and maybe recently has not been traveling as much because she's been staying closer to home to help him get acclimated to being released and getting used to just kind of living life again.
And John, like, I know, like, we were just talking about who you were bringing to this chapter, but do you have an idea of what August would have been doing in the next 5 years?
I mean, probably just like reacclimating, maybe finding a university that he could kind of get back into his science work. Just kind of laying low, trying not to get too involved. You know, still a little gun shy from his experiences, and you know, after recovering from everything he saw and everything. So just probably trying to lead as normal a life as possible.
Mm-hmm. I will also say, in like, as we kind of see these like kind of vignettes, I guess, of all three of you guys acclimating, or not, well, one acclimating to just helping and your family members and all that.
Mm-hmm.
One of the missions with SSD, like, maybe it's one of Tim's last ones, because he's also getting up there in years, to where he calls, like, he's been like your guy's handler for your missions for years now, and like you guys have been involved with other ones, but he's like your main one that's kind of checking in, giving you guys missions and all that. And he was like, hey, I just want you guys to know, if you guys remember back the mission in what was it, 1990, in November, that artifact, gravity clot, we have that back. It is in, well, there's only, in our records and stuff, only one safe place. We won't tell you where that is, so that way it's not compromised. But it is now in a place where we believe is almost impossible to get a hold of. However, over the years, it seems like whether it was the Eyes of Obsidian or weaseled their way in through different government agencies, or just people trying to just mad luck, there were two other artifacts that go with gravity clot that are also missing. So I know, like, I'm I'm only here for at least another month, maybe 2. But, well, David, you and your family, like, just with Centralia and all that, like, this is something that seems to run in our history. So, yeah, so there's just wanted you guys to know that there's 2 other artifacts coming around, and that, as I quickly scroll through to remember what their names are, they are, well, their code names is a mask called Pickle Face and a glove called Firebrand. So we haven't fully figured out all of their abilities. Like, as I read your report with Gravity Clot, we didn't know that it could slow down bodily functions like that. But, so, I'm just letting you guys know, just to be aware that if something like that is popping up on your radar, it might be part of the set. So, and kind of from there, like, we finish like our little flashbacks as we see the casket of Caleb, a ripe old age of 3,000 years old. I don't actually remember how old he is. He's like 95 or something.
He's just over. He'd be like 90 in a couple months.
Yeah.
90 plus a couple months.
Mm-hmm. And so, but like, he as he lays there, like, just his body, like, he has like this smile that, like, even when they were trying to get him, like, prepared for burial and all that, like, it seemed like he had this smile that just, no matter what they did, never seemed to go away. As he just is lying there, as the priest is finishing the mass. As we turn out, the camera kind of turns around to look at the crowd, as we see multiple people there. A lot of the Winters family has grown a lot, but there's still a lot of connections that Caleb has made over the years. In the front row, we see Rose sitting next, kind of maybe on both sides, is Daniel on one side and Sarah on the other. We have that, and maybe David's just a seat over from there. And then in the row behind them, we see Cora and Timothy. And Timmy just kind of sitting there, paying their respects. In the back, we see, the Lockhart twins, who are there to support, probably one still partner, one ex-partner, but just the bond over the years to help support him. And then all the way in the back, almost looking like he's getting ready to leave, is Skip. Skip Thompson, who, even at his old age, still looks like one of the most beautiful men in the room. So,
aging incredibly gracefully.
Yeah, some would say age is running away from him.
Just getting younger and more beautiful.
And so, sorry, reading my notes here. And so we kind of sit there, and like everyone is just like, it's a somber time, but just the testimonies that of people that are going up, and it's just like we have pretty much like Rose, like, well, not Rose wouldn't go up first, but it's just like there was like just a short time for open mic, and Cora goes up and like gives a speech of them growing up together and just like how kind he was, and then she forces Timmy to go up and just say like, yeah, Mr. Winters, well, I gave him a lot of work with all the fires I set up, and like kind of goes on with like talking about apples and stuff of the past, and just how much like Caleb like looked out for him as he was growing up. And then maybe one of David's grandkids, not David's, it'd be Caleb's grandkids, what's his
Daniel's
face?
kids.
Daniel's. Yeah. Man, parents must have loved that. Double D's. Anyway,
They're twins.
But yeah, I
It's
wanted,
common.
but yeah, so like one of Daniel's kids goes up and talks about how Caleb was instrumental in pushing them to go to college and to get into the programs that they're studying into, and just how important that is, and just and like it's just like what was only supposed to be like 5 to 10 minutes. It's just like a constant stream of people, and like we even get like a little scene where as like Cora's sitting down, she sees Skip all the way in the back, and she's like points at the open seat, and like in the middle of the service he grudgingly goes down and it's just like okay. And sits there, and again it keeps going, and the last two people to go up, as Rose goes up to share something, but Sarah assists her in going up, and she kind of speaks before Rose and just says like, yeah, as many of you guys may know, I'm Sarah. I don't remember Sarah's last name now. Summers. There we go. It's written there. I was, well, adopted by Caleb and Rose here, and well, they loved me and raised me as one of their own. Even if I am still the same height as I was in middle school, and David, I still don't appreciate the jokes. And she goes on to talk about like how much like Caleb, even though like they weren't blood, she was still part of the family and always part of the family, and just how much he took time to make sure that like even after she left to like start her own bookstore and stuff, just how much how much he was part of her life, even like as she had her own grandkids, and she might have grandkids, she might
Probably
be
at
old now.
that point.
Yeah, so like as she also like became a parent to a grandparent and then a grandparent, and like made the jokes with that. I also, mainly because I think this would be really funny, is I don't think maybe Sarah, like Deli, knew that David and Sarah were related, and so when Sarah goes up, Deli's like, wait a second.
She finally puts the pieces together.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, they're all the same type of weird now.
See, I can definitely see that
Now
as
I
being
see it.
one of those things like, what, I thought you knew. It wasn't obvious?
Never said it.
I didn't mention it because I thought you already knew. Summer, winter, I mean, come on. I've referred to the family as the seasons family, so...
The Seasons family.
We started our own inn. One day we'll have a president that speaks in front of our own hotel. 4 Seasons. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
I'm surprised it took that long to get to the realization where you're going.
So very good
Derailed.
family. Very good family. I'm here at the funeral too. Best funeral, beautiful funeral. One
Oh,
for the ages.
you do that too well. Too well.
But anyway, we're just sitting there, and we're not sitting there, but Sarah finishes her kind of little testimony, share time, and gives it over to Rose, and she's like, I don't have a lot to share. Like, everyone has made my heart full with Caleb, the memory of him, and he'll live on with us. So, I'm just glad that as much as I remember him when I was back in Centralia, just as a new teacher, well, if it wasn't for his mom hassling him to finally ask me out, I think it was a bet for him to finally ask me out. But anyway, I'm glad it worked out, and just seeing how many people he's impacted, and so I won't keep yammering because you all heard the stories that I would like to share anyway. And so she like sits down and like before she's like, oh, and after we bury him, we're gonna have food, and oh man, I know there was wasn't there like a pie that he liked or something? I thought there was something, but it's just like we're gonna have pie back here, and so it's what he would have wanted. And like there's just like the chuckling, and the priest gets back up and finishes the funeral mass as he just finishes the service, and he tells everyone's like, hey, there's if you guys wish to, we'll be going over to, I see one of the cemeteries on the map. I just want to make sure it's the one I said.
Yeah,
Oh,
St.
Mount
Mary's?
Carmel Cemetery.
Is it St. Mary's
Mount
or
Carmel.
Mount Carmel?
Mount Carmel Cemetery. A little bit farther down the road. Yep. So it's like we'll be going down to the Mount Carmel's cemetery, where we'll be laying the body to rest. And yeah, as Rose said, you're all invited, and we're all coming back here for just for food and a good time. And so with that, I imagine it's probably Daniel, David, and then maybe Daniel's, maybe like two of his sons, like all kind of like take the casket and walk it down to the hearse, and we just see just this procedure going down South Market Street and then turning on West 5th Street, leaving town as it gets on Locust Gap Highway before turning into Mount Carmel Cemetery. It's amazing when you have the map. You can see all the street roads. Just a quick 10-minute ride, but as they pull in, they get there, we just see the body laid down, and unlike most movies, it is a very clear sunny day, very hot, just everyone kind of in their suits and stuff, just and funeral attire, just beads of sweat popping out just from just the heat of the day, as they lay the casket on the thing, and as they bring it down, people either throw dirt or flowers as he's lowered in there. And with that, everyone heads back for just the social food part. And with that, we'll see you next week.
Caleb says goodbye
Oh. Yeah.
from beyond the grave.
Flashback. I ain't dead!
I'm not dead yet!
I got to break free! Yeah, time to ruin all the moods. You're welcome, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye!
Bye!
Bye-bye.